Hello everyone! Since it's October, the month of my favorite holiday, I figured I would do a top 5 video that was centered around something Halloween-y. Not a word, but I'm making it a word. Today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 supernatural beings. And this applies to anything that you would find in a fantasy novel. It doesn't matter if it's just a novel that has magical realism in it, or an urban fantasy novel, or just anything fantasy, really. Literally, I included everything from vampires to the abominable snowman. But since that is a very large list of beings, I thought I should narrow it down and just make it like something I would want to be if I was in a fantasy novel. Like, I personally wouldn't want to be the abominable snowman or a vampire. So, I mean, it narrowed down the list to a surprisingly small amount, because while I was thinking of like books that I've read about some of these creatures, it's like thinking about it in that way, I would not want to be this creature for like this and this reason. So it was a very, very long list that shortened really fast, because it's like, I don't know, for a person that loves all things fantasy and anime and stuff like that, I didn't really want to be like a lot of different creatures or beings. These are also in no particular order. I don't like any of them more than I do the others. But I'm going to start off with demigods, which is probably kind of obvious given my love for the Percy Jackson series and pretty much all of Rick Riordan's books. And even with all the dangerous situations that demigods get themselves in or they are pushed into, I still 100% would jump at the chance to be a demigod. As long as it's like the modern day demigods, not like the ancient Greek and Roman demigods, because seriously, I can't not have plumbing. So I know that's a weird reason for not wanting to be one of the ancient demigods, the more well-known and famous demigods, but I would rather be like Percy Jackson, like nobody know me, and have like indoor plumbing. It's like, that's just me. That's one of the reasons why I do not go camping. But moving on from that, number 2 is Shadowhunters. Now, the Shadowhunters, it was kind of iffy for me because I like the fact that, you know, you can tattoo your body up and have pretty much any ability. And with Clary making even more new ruins, it seems limitless, the amount of, I don't know how to phrase this. It's like you would have no limit to the amount of powers you would have, I guess. But at the same time, it's like Shadowhunters have to deal with so much political stuff that on one end, I love the Shadowhunters that we get to see in Cassandra Clare's world, because they literally work around the rules and do things their way. But as a regular Shadowhunter, I don't think that would be a very good life to live, because you'd have to obey the clave. So it's like either you disobey the clave and you pull a main character thing where you still do the good thing and still get out of trouble some way, or you obey the clave and you really don't have much of an exciting life. But I do like the thought of being able to slay demons. That's probably the highlight of it for me, is that. It's like defeating demons, protecting the innocents, and even though they don't know they're being protected from this, it's like, still, I love the thought of it. Then number 3 is the Grey Warren. I'm currently reading Blue Lily, Lily Blue. So I don't know all of the, I'm only like, at the time I'm recording this video, I'm only like 100 pages in. By the time this video goes up, I probably finished the book. But at the moment, I don't know like all of the details and everything surrounding Rowan's gift. I know the bare basics that we get from the Dream Thieves, and that was enough for me to want this power if possible, because I mean, I've been able to control my dreams before. I mean, granted, it's only happened a couple times and it wasn't the most exciting of dreams. It's happened like a time or two, that's it. And I like the thought of being able to constantly control my dreams, even before I actually go to sleep, be able to like have the exact dream I want. Do you know how many times I would dream of myself in a fictional book or anime world? I would do it constantly. So I really like the thought of doing that. Taking things out of dreams, I don't know if I would do that like unless absolutely necessary, but it's also a very cool power to have regardless. So I wouldn't be opposed to it. I may change my mind after I have read the rest of the Raven cycle and I know more about Ronan's powers, but at the moment, I mean, it's like one of the most fascinating powers I've ever read about in a book. So I'm all for it. Now let's see. Number 4 is kitsunes. Anyone who has, read about Japanese mythology or has even watched Teen Wolf past the first 3 seasons, season 3 part 1 at least, you know what a kitsune is. Kitsune is a Japanese fox spirit. There are several different kinds of fox spirits, I mean, because most of them are nature-based, and even that in itself, you have ones that deal with snow, some that deal with like different kind of elements. Like I think my favorite one is Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho that deals with plants and everything. He's a nature spirit. If given the chance, I would love to be a kitsune that deals with plants, like Kurama. I said he was a nature spirit, but even that is like very expansive, kind of like how Kira from Teen Wolf deals with electricity. And there's also 2 different types of fox spirits. You can go with like actual looking like a fox, and they have like a fox form and like a hybrid fox / human form, which is more what I would want to be. Or you would be like Kira, who just has like the spirit of the fox but looks completely human. Now, coming in at number 5 may or may not be obvious, and that is Nicos, or Nicos, depending on your pronunciation. Given my channel name, I thought this would have been obvious to put on the list, but maybe not. I don't know, because I've never really talked about it. But I would love to be a Neko. Nekos are Japanese cat demons that are, as far as I know, only portrayed in animes. I've never seen them in TV shows or movies. Catwoman does not count, even though I guess you can think of Catwoman as a Neko, even though Nekos usually have like the ears and tail of an actual cat, where Catwoman just has the abilities. But if all you know is Catwoman, that's a good thing to base it off of, I guess. And Nekos don't really have any special powers, at least none of the ones I've seen do. And it's basically just, they have the ears, tails, fangs of a cat. They have the reflexes and like the normal agility and flexibility that cats do. But otherwise there's really nothing that special about them. That's it. And I do have a few runners-up to this list, which are mermaids, half Velas from the Harry Potter series. I would not want to be a full Vela because I don't want to have a bird face. But I'm okay with being a half Vela, like Fleur Delacour. And then fairies. Fairies, I wasn't thinking like Cassandra Clare's fairies or the Greyland series fairies. I'm thinking more of the Winx Club fairies. Not even Tinkerbell fairies, just the Winx Club fairies, because they have their own special like set of powers depending on what planet they're from, and you know, everything else. It's really complicated, but at the same time it's like they can like level up and become even bigger and more powerful fairies, which I like. And it's just, if I had to choose any fairies, it would be them. If I had to be like the more evil fairies, I definitely would not want to be a fairy ever, ever, ever. Now, if I had to choose any of the beings for my top 5 list to be, I would have to be a demigod. I mean, normally I would say Neko, because I have always wanted to be one since I was a little girl watching Toonami on, you know, Saturday night. Was it Saturday night or Friday night? I can't remember. I miss Toonami so much. Back on topic. But if I had to choose one being to be, and I had to live and actually socialize with people in the outside world, and all of them were normal, then I would want to be a demigod, because that's something that it would be epic to be. I would be super powerful, depending if I could choose my godly parent. If I could choose my godly parent, that would be a plus. But I would have these special abilities in some cases, and I would be able to live out in the normal world without being hunted down. But what about you guys? Out of all of the supernatural creatures and beings and powers that we've come across in TV shows and movies and books, which one would you want to have? Or which one would you like to be? With that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!